So you've come to the right place if you want to get your most impressive physique. Let's touch on a very important topic for the average person to get into that state, that lower body fat that's really going to show the details, the striations, and express the impressiveness of the muscle development, something that the majority of people just cannot achieve. You know, there's like statistics that say that 1% of the population are only able to get to that 10% body fat level to expose the abs. And to some extent, that's not even low enough. That is not even enough. We got to get to like 8%, 7% body fat to get to those levels of shreds. And personally, I don't really care about body fat percentage. I don't even know. I don't even have any calipers or any like testing stuff. I just go based off the mirror. And if I can see my abs and see the lower oblique striations all the way down, then I know I'm pretty shredded, right? Who cares about the body fat percentage? That's just the statistic that just for some perspective to show you guys that this stuff is kind of hard to attain and to achieve, and most people don't really live that impressive physique lifestyle. So today we're going to touch on how to figure out your caloric deficit. So first of all, people are not satisfied with their physique, not because they're not big enough. It's mostly because their bicep peak doesn't have the double bicep. Their tricep isn't showing the detail. It's not showing the parts of it that achieve the impressive status. So everyone is different, right? Everyone has basically different levels of fat retention and fat building, right? Different adipose tissue genetics. And basically, we have to just take that out of the equation because everyone is the same when it comes to losing fat and utilizing caloric deficit. So one big problem that people go through is that their activity levels are constantly fluctuating. They're constantly doing less on one day, doing more on another day, just not really giving it their all every single time. And that's the way I've been doing it for the past 15 years. I am constantly training. I go through this thing called RPE, right? It is a rating that I use with my clients. It's called rate of perceived exertion. And we scale it on a scale of 1 through 10 out of 10. And for me personally, I'm consistently training with a 9 through 10 out of 10 rate of perceived exertion. So this makes it extremely easy for me to constantly keep that level of intensity and activity level, and the consistency makes it super easy to achieve my caloric deficit, and therefore it allows my clients to get that caloric deficit rating, level, that measurement really easily as well, if we keep that consistent. As you can see, or tell, consistency is extremely important, not just for entering the gym, but in a ton of different practices that revolve in fitness. And consistency is just going to make it that much easier to get the results that you want, because if we're consistent in the food, consistent in the activity levels, consistent in the calorie target, we are going to have a much easier time with the data, just like a little science experiment, and that's going to help guide us in the proper direction. So activity levels play a huge role. So I implore everybody to train with the same intensity level every single time. And I've mentioned this in past videos, just go above and beyond every single time and try to exceed your expectations every single fucking time, right? So When people start cutting down and start executing on the caloric deficit, they're completely changing their strategy, right? How many times have you heard, oh, you're bulking, you have to lift with lower reps and hit the compound movements even more. And then when you're cutting, all of a sudden you're doing 15 to 20 reps with light weight. How many people have heard that? That paradigm completely annoys me, right? Because it has pretty much destroyed my gains in the past. I'm like, okay, yeah, he said, she said, I should do this. And basically, I lost a ton of muscle. You are going to lose a ton of muscle if you completely change your training practices just because you lowered your calories. And this, it plays into what I was touching on a second ago, which was consistency in your activity levels, consistency in your intensity, but consistency in your training protocols. Everything remains the same. You have to train with that high intensity and still hit the compound lifts, and please don't go to 15 to 20 reps and lower the weight like crazy, you know? I really feel like this is just kind of like it's for fat loss, you know? People want to burn more calories, and that's why they hit those higher reps of 15 to 20 reps. But for us, you know, for the original gangsters, we're trying to get the most impressive physique that we can attain. And this comes down to retaining as much muscle as possible and then reducing that body fat to the lowest level to not only look our most impressive, but to enjoy our gains every single fucking day of the year. We don't train hard and sacrifice all this time to look less than impressive for 90% of the year, which is like what the average person does. They're like constantly bulking, constantly retaining all this fat, and just not looking as impressive as they could. So you have to stay consistent with the intensity levels and stay consistent with the training protocols. And that means hitting 6 to 10 reps and using challenging weight, whether you're bulking or cutting. So most people, they change their strategy when they start cutting, and this kind of lowers the intensity. It changes the amount of calories that they're burning, and this is a huge bottleneck that people are going through. So always strive for the highest intensity, and then stick to that calorie target. You have to experiment. Let's say you start with 2,000 calories, and you have to track your calories, right? You have to know where you're going. A lot of us are shooting in the dark. We're not tracking our calories, and then we're not weighing ourselves either. You have to track and see if that 2,000 calories is helping you lose weight. So you weigh yourself the next day with the same intensity level that you've been hitting in the gym. And if you didn't lose weight, that means you gotta lower the calories. Lower it 100 calories, lower it 200 calories, and stick with it. It is just like a science experiment, right? We have to change 1 or 2 things at a time, all right? Just be very consistent with everything, and then lower the calories just slightly, and then utilize it for 1 week to 2 weeks and see what happens, because we don't want to lower it too much. When we lower it way too much, we will crush the metabolism. This means that the body's going to expend even less energy and reserve energy for the organs and the brain, because believe it or not, the organs and the brain require a lot of the calories. And this is why a lot of people, when they do it incorrectly, they basically feel very weak, and they have a lot of issues on the way down with fat loss. So you're going to want to test things very, very slowly. And another way is to not only track your calories and weigh yourself every single day, but to eat very, very similar things. All right. When you're results driven, who cares what you want to eat, right? I mean, obviously, if it fits your macros, you can still fit in pizza and hamburgers, like I always say, just like you gotta have a sustainable method and enjoy the process in order to continue your strides to your most impressive physique. But when you want the most extreme results, you have to be results driven, and this means eating what you don't want to eat on a consistent basis. All right, like for me, I don't really like eating eggs, but I understand that high quality eggs, are 48% absorbable by the human body, and only 52% is converted into glucose. So I'm going to actually receive a lot less fat gain from eating high quality eggs on a consistent basis. So that's why I do that every single day, right? And basically anyone can achieve a much lower body fat percentage through the caloric deficit by tracking your calories, by weighing yourself every single day, and then eating very similar things every single day, right? Because the main point of training and making all this sacrifice in the gym is to get your most impressive physique. And not only that, for vanity reasons, it's going to make you feel a lot better, man. You're going to be able to produce better. You're going to feel more confident in social settings. You're going to feel more confident at work. You might even produce higher quality levels of work and get a promotion. It even plays into your income, believe it or not. If you don't believe it, then you just have not experienced it. Your appearance plays into your life more than you know, right? So the caloric deficit is huge, right? Most of us are not happy with how we look because the fat is just covering our hard work. And once you see the striations and the definitions, like you guys see my physique, it's just gonna be a night and day difference when we're talking about impressiveness. And when we're cutting the caloric deficit down slowly and training with that higher level of intensity, the risk of muscle loss is completely deterred, right? We got to do it a correct way. And we're not even incorporating hormone strategy, which is what my program revolves around. So when we incorporate hormone strategy, we not only retain muscle completely, but we are able to develop even more muscle with a caloric deficit when most people say that's impossible. So if you guys want to get super intentional and incorporate hormone strategy into your caloric deficit to achieve a jacked and shredded physique, fill out the type form in my description. I'm going to see if you guys are a good fit to work with me, and if you are, get ready to change your damn life. So like, comment, and damn it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely leave a comment. I read all of them. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next video. Peace out. So, how was that, guys? How'd you like that?